Hey, what's up guys? Nick from Velox Training Group, and today I wanted to show you guys how I go about zeroing my offset red dot next to an LPVO. First thing you're going to want to do is establish the distance that you want to have a zero for your offset red dot. For me personally, I like a 50-yard zero for my offset red dot. 50-yard zero, especially on a 14.5-inch carbine like this, is a very, very familiar zero for me. And I already know all of the holds for my 50-yard zero on this particular carbine. All right, so once you've established the distance that you want to go ahead and zero at, what you're going to need next is a target. What I like to use for zeroing targets are these little labels that you can get from Amazon. These things come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. What I prefer are the white 3-inch circles. Why a 3-inch circle for zeroing? For me, a circle that's about 3 inches like this, it's easier for me to get this dot centered inside of a little bit bigger circle than say a 1-inch circle or a 1-inch square, right? It's a lot easier for me to see if the dot is centered in a little bit bigger circle. So what I do is I take these and just basically stick them to a target, just like this. Put a bunch of them up. They have sticky backs, and put it down there at 50 yards. All right, next what you're gonna need to know about your offset red dot is my offset red dot mount directly over the bore, and why does that matter, right? So that matters for a couple reasons. So it matters for the same reason that it matters for a LPVO to be centered over the bore. If this LPVO was to the left, you could potentially get it zeroed, but inside of your zero and outside of your zero, you're gonna have some wonky offset, right? And not all offset mounts are made equally, right? So this Badger mount, cool thing about Badger, they understand that, right? So this offset mount is directly over the bore, okay? This T-Rex mount is typically over the bore, but on this Scar, since this Scar has a little bit higher rail, see if you guys can see that, it is not directly over the bore, okay? So inside of my zero, I have to hold high and to the left instead of just high, right? Like I normally would with this. It's one of the reasons why I like the Badger. Everything about this offset mount, this Badger offset mount, is very, very reminiscent of a regular mount that you would mount on the top, right? For a scope or a dot. Everything is very familiar as far as holds go. All right, so next thing you're gonna wanna do is get a front bag, and I like to use a rear bag as well. It helps stabilize the gun, right? Why a bag? Well, if I use a bag, it affords me the ability to get this thing as level as possible with the earth, right? I can get this top turret as level as possible. Now, some of you guys might be saying, offset red dot level, like what is this guy talking about, right? So what we're looking for here is this top turret to be as level with the earth as possible, okay? Everyone knows who has done this, right? If we've taken a zeroed carbine, laid it on its side, and used the primary optic, where do we have to aim? Typically mag side high, right? Simply because of the trajectory of the bullet meeting the zero, right? When we turn it on its side, it's going to be going low left. Okay, in this case, when it's turned to the left side, it'll be going low left, so we need to aim mag side high, right? Same thing if we canted it to this side and use the primary optic, the bullet would be going low right. We'd have to aim mag side high. We'd have to aim high left, okay? Same thing with this offset, okay? This offset, the top turret needs to be level with the earth for you to get a proper zero. All right, last thing you guys need to know before you go ahead and go hot, what you guys are gonna need to do is establish a proper natural point of aim. What do I mean by natural point of aim? Well, if I go ahead and get behind this gun, right? Go ahead and bag it, back bag it, get on target here, okay? And then if I close my eyes and then open them back up, and the dot is not in the same exact spot, chances are I have some sort of muscular input into the gun. So why is that important? Well, we're after a proper zero on this gun, right? It shouldn't take muscular input to get a zero on a gun. And you're also not gonna get a super consistent zero if I'm having to move my shoulder or keep my grip at a certain, tension or whatever to hold this thing in place. So go ahead and establish a natural point of aim. Just get behind the gun, nice and relaxed, okay? Close your eyes, take a couple breaths, open them back up. Okay, my dot is there. Go ahead and close them again, open them back up. Dot's in the same spot. So I've established a good natural point of aim. All right, so next thing, what you're gonna wanna do is send 5 shots, okay? Typically what I do for my zero, and this is just me, this doesn't have to be your way, but this is just my way. What I like to do is send 5 shots, okay? And then after that, I get it all refined and then send 10 shots, or sometimes more than 10 shots, okay? The more shots we send at this target, the more information we're gonna have on our zero. Okay, I know a lot of people will zero with a 3-shot group or sometimes a 5-shot group, but in my opinion, that's not exactly zeroed, right? That's not enough rounds on that target to give us any sort of information about where our zero actually is, okay? So if we send, say, a 5-shot group and we have 3 here and 2 here, okay? We might think, okay, well, there's 3, maybe we need to move it here and then up a little bit, or vice versa, right? Whatever. But if we sent 10 and 8 are right here and 2 are right here, now we really know that we need to move our group this way and up, or whatever way it needs to really go to be in the center of that target. So I go ahead and send 5, and then we'll shoot a 10-shot group after that just to confirm that everything's good to go. So another cool thing about zeroing an offset red dot in conjunction with a 1 to 6, kind of save you guys some time here. Flip this thing over to 6x, and most of the time, you can see where your impacts are. You don't need to go ahead and walk down range, okay? So I could see that my impacts are a little low and a little to the left, okay? So what I'll do to move that, take the caps off, okay? Grab my handy dandy Multitasker Nano, okay? And then up is, let's see, up is that way. Give it a couple clicks up, okay? And give it a couple clicks to the right. Send 5 more shots. So what I have is basically exactly what I talked about, right? I have 3 that are exactly pretty much in the center, and then 2 off to the right. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move this 1 click to the right because that center-ish group is a little to the left. And after that, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot 10 shots just to confirm. All right, guys, so I went ahead and shot my final 10 shots. I've got a group about the size of a dime down there at 50 yards. This gun shoots pretty exceptional. And next thing, or lastly, that we want to go ahead and do with these offset dots is make sure that we know all of our offsets, right? It's our job to know exactly where that bullet is going to impact at every single distance that we plan on shooting this thing, okay? So go inside of your zero and outside of your zero. What I like to do is go about every 10 yards, fire a little group, see where that offset is, right? Until I get up to about 3 yards, okay? Go in back of your zero, okay? I go all the way out to 100 because I'm kind of a nerd like that. And this way I know exactly where I'm hitting, despite which optic I'm using, right? Also, it's a good thing to know where it's hitting because, like I say, not all optics are directly over the bore, kind of like this scar, right? Like I say, this thing I have to hold high left when I'm inside of my zero. So make sure you're doing little things like that. Like I say, it's our responsibility to know where our impacts are going when they leave this gun, okay? So make sure you're going ahead and figuring out where your offset is and where your points of impact are. All right, guys, that's how I go about zeroing my offset red dot. Hopefully that helps you guys, and let me know if you guys have any questions on how to do that. Again, Nick from Velox Training Group.